James Best was an American actor, who in 6 decades of television is best known for his starring role as bumbling Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane in the CBS television series The Dukes of Hazzard. He also worked as an acting coach, artist, college professor, and musician. Early years. Best was born as Jules Franklin Guy on July 26, 1926, in Powderly, Kentucky, to Larkin Lena Guy. His mother was the sister of Ike Everly, the father of the pop duo the Everly Brothers. After his mother died of tuberculosis in 1929, then 3-year-old James was sent to live in an orphanage. He was later adopted by Alma Best and his wife Essa and went to live with them in Corydon, Indiana. He served honorably in the United States Army in World War II, training in 1944 in Biloxi, Mississippi as a gunner on a B-17 bomber. But by the time he finished training, the war was almost at an end and he joined the military police. As an MP, Best played a role in bringing stability to war-torn Germany immediately after their surrender. While stationed in Germany, Best transferred out of the MP and joined a special services unit of actors for the U.S. Army that traveled around Europe performing plays for the troops. This was the true beginning of his acting career. Best began his screen acting career with an uncredited role in the 1950 film, One-Way Street. Some of his more notable roles include Jason Brown in the 1955 historical drama about the abolitionist John Brown titled 7 Angry Men, and as Kit Caswell in the 1958 western Cole Younger Gunfighter, based on the infamous outlaw. He was further cast as Private Ridges in the 1958 film adaptation of Norman Mailer's The Naked and the Dead. He played the outlaw Billy John in Ride Lonesome, Dr. Ben Miser in the 1966 comedy Three on a Couch, The Gunfighter Drew in Fire Creek, with James Stewart and Henry Fonda, and the cross-dressing Dewey Barksdale in the 1976 drama Ode to Billy Joe. Best guest-starred more than 280 times in numerous television series. In 1954, he played the outlaw Dave Ridley, opposite Gloria Winters as the female bandit, Little Britches, in an episode of Stories of the Century. In 1954, Best appeared twice on the syndicated Annie Oakley series, starring Gail Davis and Brad Johnson. He was cast in the religion anthology series, Crossroads, in the 1956 episode, The White Carnation. He was also cast on an episode of Jackie Cooper's early NBC sitcom, The People's Choice, and in the David Janssen crime drama Richard Diamond, Private Detective. In 1960, Best appeared in the episode, Love on Credit, of CBS's anthology series, The DuPont Show with June Allison. He starred in Season 3, Episode 7 of The Twilight Zone. In 1963, he was cast as the courageous Wisconsin game warden, Ernie Swift, in the episode, Open Season, of another CBS anthology series, G.E. True, hosted by Jack Webb. In the storyline, Swift faces the reprisal of organized crime after he tickets gangster Frank Macelin for illegal fishing. In 1962, he played the part of Art Fuller in the episode, Incident of El Toro, on CBS's Rawhide, and in 1963, he returned to play Willie Kane in the episode, Incident at Spider Rock. Best made 2 guest appearances on Perry Mason. In 1963 he played title character Martin Potter in The Case of the Surplus Suitor, and in 1966 he played defendant and oilman Alan Winford in The Case of the Unwelcome Well. He appeared on a long list of other television series including Wagon Train, The Adventures of Kit Carson, the Western anthology series Frontier, The Rebel, Bonanza, Sheriff of Cochise, Pony Express, A Rescue 8, Behind Closed Doors, The Texan, Gunsmoke, Have Guns, Will Travel, The Barbara Stanwyck Show, Tombstone Territory, Whispering Smith, Trackdown, The Rifleman, Stagecoach West, The Twilight Zone, Wanted, Dead or Alive, Overland Trail, Bat Masterson, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, The Man and the Challenge, Combat, The Green Hornet, The Mod Squad, I Spy, The Fugitive and In the Heat of the Night. The Dukes of Hazzard best played Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane on CBS as the Dukes of Hazzard from the debut of the program in 1979 until the series ended in 1985. This role was Best's most visible success. He later revealed that the caricature-like persona of Sheriff Coltrane was developed from a voice that he used when playing with his young children. On set, Best was particularly close to Sorrel Book, who played the character of Boss Hogg, who was both the boss and the brother-in-law of Roscoe. The two actors became close friends, and according to interviews by the series creators, the two would often improvise their scenes together, making up their own dialogue as they went along. Until his death, he also remained close to Catherine Bach, who played the character of Daisy Duke, and long after the show's cancellation, she was a regular visitor to the website dedicated to Best's painting. Later career in 1991, in contrast to the comical Roscoe Coltrane of Dukes of Hazzard, Best appeared in an episode of the NBC crime drama In the Heat of the Night. He won the Crystal Reel Award for Best Actor for his portrayal of Nathan Bedford in the episode Sweet, Sweet Blues, directed by Vincent McEvity and written by William James Royce. Best plays a retired sheriff and repentant killer who has to come to terms with being involved in the death of now Sparta police officer Sweet's grandfather. He later moved to Florida and taught at the University of Central Florida. After semi-retiring, Best ran a production company and took occasional acting roles. He also earned a name for himself as an artist and painter. Best formerly resided in Lake Murray, South Carolina before moving once again, this time to Hickory, North Carolina. An acting coach, Best taught drama and acting techniques for more than a quarter-century in Los Angeles. He also served as artist-in-residence and taught drama at the University of Mississippi for 2 years prior to his stint on The Dukes of Hazzard. In 2009, he completed his autobiography, Best in Hollywood: The Good, the Bad and the Beautiful. The book, published in 2009 through Bear Manor Media, premiered at the Mid-Atlantic Nostalgia Convention in Aberdeen, Maryland, on November 9, 2014. Best and fellow actor Robert Fuller attended the 100th birthday celebration of lifelong friend and fellow actor Norman Lloyd. Best said, "I had the honor to have been directed by Norman in a Hitchcock episode called The Jar. Having worked with hundreds of directors in my career, I found very few that had Norman's qualities. He was most kind, gracious and patient with his actors. He is in all respects a complete gentleman in his personal life, and I found it a genuine pleasure just to be in the presence of such a talented man. I am also doubly honored to consider him my friend. We are so blessed to have such a man among us for so long." Personal life and death. In 1959, Best married his second wife, Joby Ayres. The couple had 2 daughters, Janine and Jo Jamie. They divorced in 1977. Best also had a son, Gary, from a previous marriage. He married his third wife, Dorothy Collier, in 1986. His niece is actress Jennifer Lyons. Best died on April 6, 2015, in Hickory, North Carolina from complications of pneumonia. He was 88. Partial filmography: Winchester, 73 as Crater, Comanche Territory as Sam, Kansas Raiders as Cole Younger, Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man as Tommy Nelson, The Battle at Apache Pass as a CPL, Hassett, The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms as an unnamed radar operator, Seminole as Captain Gerard, Riders to the Stars as Sidney K. Fuller, The Kane Mutiny as L.T. Jurgensen, Forbidden Planet as an unnamed crew member, The Naked and the Dead as Private Ridges, The Left-Handed Gun as Tom Folliard, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Death Sentence as Norman Frayne, The Killer Shrews as Thorne Sherman, Verborten as David Brent, Ride Lonesome as Billy John, The Andy Griffith Show as Jim Lindsay, The Mountain Road as Neagard. Bonanza as Carl Reagan. The Twilight Zone as Johnny Robb. The Twilight Zone as Jeff Myrtlebank. The Rifleman as Barrett. The Twilight Zone as Billy Ben Turner. Shock Corridor as Stuart Couter. The Fugitive December 17, 1963. Terror at High Point. Combat as Trenton. Shenandoah as Carter. Flipper as Dr. Peter Kelwin. The Virginian as Kurt Wesley. Three on a Couch as Dr. Ben Miser. The Guns of Will Sonnet episode. Meeting at Devil's Fork. Fire Creek as Drew. Sounder as Sheriff Young. Ode to Billy Joe as Dewey Barksdale. Nickelodeon as Jim. Rolling Thunder as Texan. Hooper as Cully. The End as Pacemaker Patient. Centennial as Hank Garvey. The Dukes of Hazzard as Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane. The Dukes as Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane. In the Heat of the Night as retired Sheriff Nath Adford. Crystal Reel Award. Best Actor. The Dukes of Hazzard. Reunion. As Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane. The Dukes of Hazzard. Hazard in Hollywood as Roscoe P. Coltrane. Moondance Alexander as friend and storekeeper of the Alexanders. Return of the Killer Shrews as Thorne Sherman. The Sweeter Side of Life co-starring role as the father of the protagonist.